Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000.
Rumors started spreading online claiming that Jay-Z had his mega mansion in Los Angeles raided after the Epstein files were released, and the internet immediately went into a frenzy. People began saying that what was supposedly uncovered could shake the entire hip-hop industry. The hip-hop mogul is now facing waves of online allegations that have left fans and critics debating nonstop. Some are even claiming that if any of this were proven true, it could seriously damage his career and reputation. Behind the billionaire status, the carefully crafted public image, and the Roc Nation empire, people online have been speculating about Jay-Z's possible connections to powerful circles that allegedly placed his name in controversial discussions. These claims suggest ties and relationships that many fans never expected to hear about. Whether fact or rumor, the situation has sparked intense debate across social media, with many trying to figure out what's real and what's just internet noise. The story being discussed online is darker and more complicated than most expected, at least according to those pushing the narrative. Some discussions mention alleged industry grooming, questionable relationships, and connections to figures who were later exposed for serious crimes. Supporters say there's no real proof, while critics insist there are patterns worth questioning. Either way, the conversation has grown bigger than just hip-hop gossip. Yo, what's good, fam? Today we're diving into a topic that's been shaking up the hip-hop community. This isn't just regular celebrity drama. This conversation touches on power, influence, and the way the music industry has handled certain situations over the years. At the same time, there's also a lot of misinformation floating around, so it's important to look at everything carefully. Social media has been going wild with talk about Jay-Z and the Epstein files. Twitter has been flooded with posts, Instagram pages have been buzzing, and everybody seems to have their own theory. Some people are convinced there's something serious behind the headlines, while others believe it's all exaggerated rumors. Right now, it's a mix of speculation, old information resurfacing, and people trying to connect dots that may or may not be related. Before assuming anything, it's important to understand that being mentioned in documents or appearing in the same social or business circles as someone doesn't automatically mean involvement in wrongdoing. Still, that hasn't stopped the internet from digging through old photos, interviews, and business connections looking for answers. The music industry has a long history of powerful figures operating behind the scenes, and over the years we've seen multiple scandals involving major names. Cases involving artists like R. Kelly and Diddy have already shown that serious misconduct can go unnoticed for years before finally coming to light. Because of that history, people are more willing than ever to question the actions and connections of major industry figures. When the Epstein documents became a major topic online, people started going through pages of records, looking for familiar names connected to industry events, private parties, and business gatherings. In some discussions online, Jay-Z's name was mentioned in connection with industry spaces and social circles, which immediately caught people's attention. While mentions alone don't prove anything, they were enough to spark widespread debate about who knew who and how deep certain connections may have gone. In the entertainment world, networking is everything. Relationships can shape careers, open doors, and create opportunities. But when people from those same circles later become involved in serious criminal cases, it naturally raises uncomfortable questions about who was connected and what was known at the time. Once these rumors started spreading, the internet reacted fast. Hashtags began trending, old clips resurfaced, and people started building their own timelines based on past appearances and industry relationships. Some fans rushed to defend Jay-Z, while others argued that the situation deserved closer attention. And that's where the story goes beyond simple name mentions. For many people following this online, the bigger question is about long-standing industry relationships and how deeply connected certain circles really were. According to those discussions, the network of connections being talked about stretches back decades, making the situation feel much bigger than just one name trending for a few days. Let's talk about Harvey Weinstein for a moment, because this connection plays a big role in understanding the bigger picture. This wasn't just random Hollywood networking. Jay-Z and Weinstein were connected through multiple projects over the years, including serious business ventures that reportedly generated major profits. They collaborated on film-related projects, including documentaries and music-focused productions, and Weinstein's company was involved in distributing content connected to Jay-Z's work. They also appeared at many of the same industry events, moving in similar circles for years. We're talking about major appearances at events like Cannes, Oscar parties, and private industry gatherings. Jay-Z even publicly thanked Weinstein in interviews for helping him better understand the film business. These weren't quiet, behind-the-scenes connections either. There were red carpet moments, public acknowledgments, and visible business ties. This wasn't just a casual acquaintance. It was a professional relationship that developed over time and involved multiple collaborations that benefited both sides. For those who might not understand how these industry relationships work, connections at that level are rarely random. When you reach Jay-Z's level, partnerships are usually strategic. Relationships are built over time, maintained through ongoing contact, and often serve specific business goals. At that level, very little happens by accident. Weinstein had a reputation as a major power broker in Hollywood, someone who could open doors or shut them with a single phone call. For someone like Jay-Z, who was expanding beyond music into film and entertainment, that kind of connection carried real value. But once the allegations against Weinstein became public, people started looking at those past relationships differently. Questions began to surface about who knew what and when. In an industry where people often move in the same circles, the idea that someone could work closely with a figure like Weinstein without hearing any rumors has been a topic of debate. Whether fair or not, once the allegations came out, many of Weinstein's past associations began facing renewed scrutiny. Things took another turn when Nicki Minaj began speaking out online about what she claimed to have seen and heard in the industry. Her posts sparked intense reactions across social media, with many people paying close attention to the claims she was making. She spoke about alleged patterns within the industry and raised questions about Jay-Z's past relationships that some people felt had never been fully addressed. Some of her posts referenced Jay-Z's past connections with women in the industry, including long-standing rumors involving Foxy Brown. She questioned the timeline of certain relationships and brought up discussions that have circulated in hip-hop conversations for years. She also mentioned Aaliyah, referencing stories about industry figures competing for her attention during her early career. In addition, she questioned the commonly accepted timeline of when Jay-Z and Beyoncé first met. According to these online discussions, the situation involving Foxy Brown has been one of the most talked about topics. Rumors about their relationship have circulated for decades, with people pointing to old interviews and past comments that they believe raise questions. Clips from older media appearances have resurfaced online, leading to renewed debate among fans and critics alike. Nicki Minaj has been part of the industry for many years, working alongside major artists and attending the same events as some of the biggest names in music. Because of that experience, when she speaks about industry culture, people tend to listen, whether they agree with her or not. Her comments added fuel to an already heated conversation. Some of the biggest reactions came when she started discussing broader industry power structures. Rather than focusing on one individual, she described what she suggested was a wider system where influence and opportunity could be used in ways that placed young artists in vulnerable positions. That perspective led to intense debate online, with some people supporting her claims and others strongly pushing back. The response to her posts was immediate. Social media filled with reactions, with some users asking for more details while others tried to challenge or discredit the claims. What made the situation more intense was that the discussion wasn't just about one person. It was about the possibility of larger patterns within the industry itself. Part of what kept the conversation going was the timeline people began putting together. Many discussions focused on the early years of Jay-Z's career, when he was building his reputation and forming the connections that would later help him become a major figure in the industry. Some allegations that had existed for years started circulating again, gaining new attention because of recent events. Rumors involving Foxy Brown resurfaced once again, including claims about when their relationship may have started. These stories have existed in hip-hop discussions for a long time, but they continue to be debated, especially whenever old interviews or clips resurface online. Then there's the situation involving Aaliyah. Over the years, there have been claims from various industry figures suggesting that multiple people showed interest in her during her early career. Some former insiders have spoken publicly about that time period, which has kept the conversation alive even decades later. The timeline involving Beyoncé has also been discussed, with some people questioning when she and Jay-Z first met compared to the official version of events. Various claims have surfaced over the years, including statements from individuals who said they saw them together at industry functions early on. Though these claims have remained disputed, in the music world, power dynamics are always part of the conversation. When a young artist is trying to build a career and a powerful figure takes interest, the situation can become complicated. The balance of influence is rarely equal, and that reality has been part of many industry discussions over the years. Former associates and business partners have occasionally made comments that added to these conversations, sometimes raising questions about timelines and relationships during those early years. While not always direct accusations, those remarks have contributed to ongoing speculation. Another topic that often comes up is Jay-Z's past collaborations with R. Kelly, particularly during a time when allegations against R. Kelly were already being discussed publicly. Critics have pointed to those collaborations as part of a larger conversation about accountability in the industry. When people look at all of these discussions together, some believe they point to broader patterns within the entertainment world. Others argue that rumors and speculation have been repeated so often that they take on a life of their own, even without clear proof. Either way, the conversation has continued to resurface over the years. More recently, rumors began circulating online claiming that federal authorities carried out a raid at one of Jay-Z's properties. According to these reports, agents allegedly arrived with warrants and conducted a detailed search. However, as with many stories spreading online, the details remain heavily debated, and confirmed information has been limited. Some sources have claimed that investigators were looking for communications and financial records that could be connected to ongoing allegations. Supporters argue that these claims are exaggerated, while critics insist they deserve attention. At this point, much of the discussion remains based on reports and online speculation rather than confirmed public findings. People online are claiming that investigators may have collected documents that could present a very different version of how Jay-Z built his rise to power and the business moves that helped create his empire. According to these rumors, multiple electronic devices were allegedly taken, including phones, computers, and storage systems. In today's world, digital evidence plays a huge role in investigations like this. Text messages, emails, and financial transactions all leave trails that can be analyzed later. The real question is whether any of that information would point to actual criminal activity or simply decisions that people might consider questionable. There's a big difference between suspicious behavior and prosecutable crimes, and federal prosecutors need clear evidence before they can move forward with charges. Allegations alone aren't enough. Cases at that level require solid proof that laws were actually broken. Some people have pointed out that if federal authorities were truly involved, that would suggest the possibility of crimes that cross state lines or fall under federal jurisdiction. In situations like that, investigators sometimes look into offenses such as trafficking, racketeering, or financial crimes. However, as of now, much of this discussion remains based on online speculation rather than confirmed legal findings. Jay-Z's legal team has remained quiet about these claims, which is actually common in situations involving potential investigations. Lawyers often advise their clients to avoid making public statements while they evaluate the situation and determine what steps to take next. Staying silent doesn't necessarily mean anything by itself. It's often just standard legal strategy. A lot of people are also comparing these rumors to what's happening with Sean Combs, a figure who once seemed untouchable but is now facing serious legal challenges. Those comparisons have fueled online discussions, with some people suggesting that powerful figures in the industry are being examined more closely than ever before. Others believe the situations are completely separate and shouldn't be grouped together. In past cases involving major industry figures like R. Kelly, allegations eventually led to major investigations and court proceedings. Because of that history, some fans believe the industry is entering a period where powerful individuals are being held more accountable than in previous decades. Whether that's actually happening on a larger scale is still a matter of debate. One reason these stories gain momentum is that once one major case becomes public, more people often feel comfortable speaking up. Individuals who may have stayed quiet before sometimes decide to share their experiences, and that can lead to new information coming forward. In some cases, investigators rely on witness cooperation to help build a clearer picture of what may have happened. Another thing people have noticed is how quiet the industry can become during moments like this. Sometimes artists and executives rush to defend someone facing accusations, but other times there's very little public response. That silence often leads to speculation, even though there can be many reasons why people choose not to comment. If a real federal investigation were taking place, it would likely move slowly at first. Federal cases are usually built carefully over time, and investigators often gather as much evidence as possible before making any public moves. When charges do happen in those situations, they usually come after long periods of preparation. There's also always the possibility of legal negotiations if a case were ever filed. In some situations, attorneys try to resolve matters through agreements rather than trials, especially if they believe the evidence is strong. Other times, cases go to court and take years to fully resolve. Regardless of what turns out to be true or false, situations like this often become part of a bigger conversation about the entertainment industry as a whole. Over the years, there's been growing discussion about power, influence, and accountability, especially when it comes to how young artists are treated while trying to build their careers. The center of all these conversations is a bigger question about responsibility and transparency. Some people believe the industry has protected powerful figures for too long, while others argue that accusations alone shouldn't be treated as proof. Both perspectives continue to shape the debate. In the end, the situation surrounding Jay-Z isn't just about one person. For many people watching from the outside, it represents a larger discussion about power, influence, and how the music business operates behind the scenes. It also raises questions about how allegations are handled and how long it can take for the truth to come out. Right now, it's important to remember that these are still allegations and online claims. Nothing has been proven in court, and due process matters in situations like this. At the same time, people continue to follow the story closely, waiting to see whether any verified information emerges. What do you think about the situation and where it might lead? Do you think more developments will come out? Or do you believe this is mostly internet speculation? Share your thoughts and let me know if you want updates if anything new comes out. One thing is certain, stories like this tend to keep evolving, and the conversation is far from over.